Redditors, what's an impulse buy you made that ended up being totally worthwhile? Got laser eye surgery. I lost my glasses a few years ago and was just like, screw it. I'm going for one of those free consults to see if I qualify. Got the surgery 2 weeks later. Best decision of my life. A steam cleaner. It works as well as they do on the infomercials. I will never use a mop again. Dirt just melts away. Used it on a carpet with coffee stains. Gone. Also a pizza wheel cutter thing. I'd always just used a knife. Dude, try pizza scissors. If the pizza cutter wheel changed your life, pizza scissors will blow your mind. I bought some running shoes on a whim and decided to start running. I'm not sure that I actually enjoy the running part, but I feel great afterwards and have seen a general improvement in my health and mood. Now I just need to impulse sign up for a race so I have a reason to improve and push myself more. Dude, once you get the bike you'll be zipping around, and you'll be able to get to Fuchsia City. I once bought a 6-foot long phone charger cable. The extra 3 feet feels like another mile of freedom. Now there is hardly a single outlet that's too far from the bed for me. I initially got the conversion to meters wrong in my head and really wondered why you would need an 18-meter phone charger cable. I bought an electric fly swatter from a bargain store. The flash and zap when I hit a fly is worth the £1 I paid for it. You need to get the internet enabled version that keeps track of your scores. Last fall I was feeling the post-separation blues and impulsively bought a plane ticket to London and then Dublin for a once-in-a-lifetime solo vacation. I had always wanted to visit Ireland as a kid and never thought I would ever be able to leave the US. Or travel anywhere really. I travel all the time now, but it's getting tiring and I'm planning to put away the suitcase. But I'm glad I did some of these things now because I will have the opportunity to live with no regrets if I meet someone and am blessed enough to have a family someday. Was totally worth it. I did the same thing. I got an invitation to my 20-year HS reunion and realized I had no desire at all to attend. Instead, it somehow motivated me to plan that trip to Hawaii I had been dreaming about. I was originally going to go myself, but an old friend asked to join me and we have a really great vacation planned. I'm very excited. I drunkenly bought a beehive off Amazon a little less than a year ago. Now I keep an active hive and I'm about to do my first honey and wax harvest. You really can buy anything off Amazon. Being in the military, lightweight boots. Did I need them? Number. Is the feeling of wearing slippers all day worth the $130? Oh yes. A dashcam. Got into an accident with a crazy woman who lied and said I ran a stop sign and that it was my fault. Showed her my dashcam footage. She shut right up and paid me appropriately. B. The 21-day fix portion control containers. I was overweight but didn't put much thought into dieting nor exercising. I saw the portion control containers for $10 bucks on sale and bought 2 sets on impulse. Ended up sticking to the diet plan and lost 40 pounds after 4 months. I bought a Yeti outfit at Pop's resale in Lexington Kai. My father thought I was a dumbass. I used it as a Halloween costume, then used it in shot framing tests for film school. Eventually I started a band and our percussionist gave one request for being in the band, that he wear the Yeti outfit on stage. Eventually we all created characters and played live in costume. The Yeti has been a part of the ride from the beginning. Think we need to see a band pick at this point. On a drunken impulse I once bought a plane ticket to Europe to see a girl. Totally worth it. Most amazing 2 months of my life. My husband and I bought a owl-shaped lamp thing with a dish you can put scented cubes of wax into. It makes your house smell lovely. We love it. We rarely buy things like this, but we saw it in the store and were like, that's a cool idea. This is the most adorable and wholesome response. I am so glad you are enjoying your lovely scented owl. Electric guitar and amp. I first tried learning guitar back in high school, 8-9 years ago, then quit after only a year of practice. It was so awesome when all the stuff I learned back then came back so quick. It's the only feeling of achievement I get lately. Electric blanket. Our heating broke last winter and our bedroom was freezing. Impulsively my so buys a king size electric blanket for the bed, and my god, it's by far the best thing we have ever purchased. There is nothing like sliding into a pre-warmed bed on a winter's night. In fact, we kept it on the bed until mid-May this year. 100% recommended to anyone. Gym membership. Started 1 year ago and now £17 away from a £1,000 total on my big 3 lifts. Also I'm down like £77, but you know, lifts. I initially interpreted 1000 lb total as your weight loss goal and I was scared. Bought an expensive mic one night to start a YouTube channel. Regretted it for months on end until the thing actually took off. Borderlands. It was $5 on sale a few years after it came out. Played through it, and the sequel, at least 4 or 5 times, and have dumped hundreds of hours into it with friends. Let's just ping everybody at once. Extra wide duct tape. It caught my eye and I stood in the aisle for far too long trying to justify why I would need this when I could just get the regular size and double it up if I needed to, but finally gave in. No regrets. My first brand new album back in 2003. I was walking through Best Buy, and I would buy a new CD a few times a week. I got back to my car, popped it in the CD player, and heard, well, it was barely audible. I couldn't make the first track out, then the second track came on and I listened to that album hundreds of times over the coming years. I had just broken up with my first girlfriend, and they introduced me to the magic of breakup albums. In the coming decade, listening to them helped me through a lot. I bought a Wacom tablet for my computer a few years ago. It lets me draw digitally. I'm no artist and for the longest time, I didn't think I'd use it. I'm glad I was wrong because this thing is awesome. Impulse bought a second pair of noise cancelling headphones while I was visiting another state. Megabus had an electrical failure on the 9-hour drive home and their door alarms went off the whole time. Those headphones saved my life. God, that sounds horrible, even with the headphones. Where I work, we bake fresh cookies. They come out of the oven all ooey gooey delicious, and they're just seriously incredible. One day I was on my way out the door and noticed a pan of hot cookies on the cooling rack. So I scraped 2 off and kept on my way to the parking lot. The restaurant I manage is in the parking lot of a Walmart. I needed to pick up my prescription, plus a water hose for the yard. So I'm walking through a Walmart and trying to eat these hot delicious cookies and it suddenly hits me that I don't have milk. So I stop dead in my tracks and look around, noticing the gallon milk section is in perfect viewing distance, and the little individual milks are all at the front, way far away. So I walked over to the gallon milk, pulled a half gallon out of the fridge and proceeded to pop the lid off and gulp down a few glugs of that delicious milk without a second thought. Some woman was staring at me from the frozen pizza section and I just pointed at my mouth and said hot cookies. God knows what she thought I meant. Anyway, I kept the half-drank milk jug with me while I picked up my hose and prescription. Paid for a fairly consumed jug of milk at the checkout counter while enduring a very strange look from the lady behind the register. Total impulse buy, but I'll never regret that. The satisfaction of the cold milk after that hot cookie was an experience I'll never forget. This was a thrill to read. Hot cookies is a great catchphrase. Greg was in the process of going out of business, so I stopped by to see if there were any screaming deals. I didn't see anything that blew me away, so I looked at fridges since mine was 20 years old and getting decrepit. I looked at my dream fridge, a huge French door bottom freezer rig with automatic water fill, but it listed at $3,000 and was on sale for $2,400. Still way the heck too much money for my taste, but just for the heck of it I asked if they could go as low as $1,900 and the salesman shrugged and said, sure, why not? A week or so later all Greg locations were ghost towns, so I have to get warranty service through GE if it goes down, but it was totally worth it despite no expectation I'd leave with a fridge. When I was 18 and just finished high school, I had 2-3 months of free time before med school would start. I spontaneously bought a plane ticket to Ecuador and went there by myself 5 days later without any preparation, and then traveled through Ecuador, the Galapagos Islands and Peru. At the beginning it was a bit frightening traveling all by myself with 18 and not speaking a single word of Spanish. But I taught myself some Spanish and learned enough to do small talk, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I'm 22 now and have since traveled outside of Europe and by myself to Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Cuba, the USA, Turkey and Israel. Also I'll be going to Southeast Asia in a month to travel again. Backpacking really became my favorite activity since that impulsive buy of a plane ticket to Ecuador. I know this might be buried, but I really want to encourage people to start traveling alone to foreign countries. It's an awesome experience and will make you grow personally. The plane ticket is expensive, but if you buy the right ticket at the right time, you can save a lot. And if you sleep in dormitories or with locals, you'll spend almost no money besides the plane ticket. Here in the real world, people have responsibilities and bills to pay. 99% of people can't just go gallivanting around the world. It took me 3 years to save up enough money just to go to Spain, and I'll never be able to do that again. I bought a block of chocolate truffle filling, which was supposed to be used as an extra to one of them make your own chocolate kits. It weighed about a pound and it lasted me one evening. I passed out before I had chance to regret it. It is genuinely the nicest thing I have ever eaten. Its melty texture is incredible. I threw away the packaging before I could read the nutritional information. If you don't know what truffle is, it's standard milk chocolate mixed with a liberal amount of cream. I think that deep frying a block of bacon grease would be healthier than eating pure truffle. I threw away the packaging before I could read the nutritional information. Guaranteed happy ending to any story that starts like this. Snyder's of Hanover pretzel pieces, jalapeno flavor. Bought a bag on impulse once. Totally worthwhile, but as addictive as crack cocaine. My personal addiction are the honey mustard ones. Girlfriend and I debated for months on getting an armadillo-shaped lamp we kept seeing at Target, but decided it was too expensive and frivolous. Randomly encountered it on sale one day and were like, hey, frick it, so we got it and now we love it. Use it on her nightstand and his name is Armand. A good quality travel backpack. I initially was planning to buy a suitcase for my first solo trip abroad and decided to say frick it and go for the nice, expensive backpack. I can't even begin to describe how much more convenient it is than some massive rolling bag. No matter where it is you plan on going, you never know what it's going to be like to get to your hotel, hostel, Airbnb, or what the train, bus station, airport is like. It's a lifesaver having it on your back, but also knowing it's something solidly built that won't get destroyed by baggage handlers. I got a big Eagle Creek backpack right after college, and I took it all across Europe and Asia. It was fantastic. But then, in my mid-30s, I got stuck with it at O'Hare overnight, and it was terrible lugging that thing around on my back all night. After getting home, I immediately bought my first roller bag. Now I'm old. My harmonica. I was stationed out in North Dakota guarding nuclear missiles. On paper, it sounds cool. You carry guns, drive armored trucks, wear body armor, see nuclear missiles. But let me assure you, it is boring. It is the middle of North Dakota and it is -70°F outside. Nobody is coming. We just sat in guard towers for 14 hours at a time. I learned how to whistle in wood and out. I can make bird calls with my hands. And I bought a harmonica. I kept it in an empty magazine pouch for my M9, our sidearm. Little did I know I would end up playing it in front of a few bars, and have now amassed a little collection of them. I have 12 of them, 7 of them in different keys. I even play it in the car sometimes to keep me awake while I'm driving. Best $6 bucks I ever spent back then. My newer ones are much higher quality. WTF, dude, don't play a musical instrument while driving. My megaphone, $20 at Kohl's, which put me over the $50 threshold to get $5 more in Kohl's cash. Good at a future Kohl's visit. Only changed the batteries once in 2 years, and the amount of hilarious occasions I have found to use it has made it the best impulse buy I've ever made. To answer your question, 8 or 9 years ago I went with some friends to the Black Friday sale at Circuit City. I wasn't even planning on buying anything, but that's what my friends were up to, so I went. About an hour before doors opened they passed out flyers showing all the deals and stuff, and one of them was a TV. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but a 32-inch flat screen TV, with a TV stand included, for something like $300 bucks. I couldn't resist. Almost a decade later, The TV is still in use in my side room, and the TV stand is in my bedroom, supporting a newer model. I definitely got my money's worth. You know it's a long time ago when you see the name Circuit City. A sunsetter retractable awning. It might not seem like your typical impulse buy, but it really was in every way. I'm able to sit outside rain or shine pretty much all year round because of it. That's probably not everyone's dream, but when you're disabled, need to sit 80% of the time, and just want to watch your kids play basketball, tag, or on the swing set, it's a dream come true. Bluetooth headphones that hang off your neck. I thought they looked ridiculous until I bought a more low profile pair, never going back to cords. I work in a deli where I am not supposed to keep my phone on me, much less listen to music. I bought an invisible earbud for $13 off Amazon, called a Pobbin, and now I keep it in my ear hidden under my hairnet. Listen to music as much as I want. 10/10 recommend. A few weeks ago we found out the house we are renting was going on the market but selling for almost $1 million. A bit out of our range. By that I mean a lot. We decided to look at some houses for sale, but had a backup rental in mind. One of the houses was a bit out of our range but had a to die for bathroom I wanted to see in person. For decorating inspiration, our realtor said why not just offer what you can afford. The worst they can say is number. We offered well under asking, and there were other offers at asking, but we offered a large cash deposit and it was accepted within hours. Built in 1935, recently remodeled kitchen and bathrooms, landscaped yard, in our favorite neighborhood within walking distance to the farmers market, antique shops and our kids' karate and ballet schools. TLDR, Impulse bought a gorgeous house in a lovely neighborhood. A divorce. After many months of getting spun around by a wife who, despite saying she wanted to work on our marriage, did nothing except make it worse. One day, after another bout of bulls from her, I said frick it, drove to the local courthouse and filed for divorce. Cost me $250, but when the proceedings were finally finished, it was amazing the weight that was lifted from my shoulders. I can say, without a doubt, it was one of the best purchases I ever made. LOL. Mine cost me $15k and took 2 years, but was best decision ever. Congrats. I bought a commercial rug doctor flat out instead of renting. Makes my carpet sparkling clean and the furniture attachments are great for pet hair. Best investment ever. Metal extendable back scratcher. I live alone, and it has saved me from insanity so many times. Door frames and bookcases can only do so much. Now I can have a good scratch whenever I want. Best $3 I ever spent. College. I was going to go to a smaller, but still pretty well-known school closer to home. My mom dragged me to a college fair because I wasn't only applying to one school to end up hating it and transferring ASU. My school's table had a hot chick, chatted her up, and on impulse decided to say frick my plans and go to school 2,000 miles away from home knowing no one. Joined a great frat, grew the frick up, had a major epiphany that completely changed the course of my life because I was fricking up freshman year and now I want to stay in my current state forever. All because my mom was hellbent on taking me to a college fair after football practice one day. Dang, that was a nice story. Very all-American too. You should send this comment to your mom, in a card. Maybe add flowers. Brownie points and tears guaranteed. I was in JFK for a school trip and some of my friends found a small Muji and went in. I went in with them, bought a 6-pack of pens, and never looked back. I don't exclusively use their pens now, but it's opened my eyes to a world of better quality pens. Also, not a purchase, but last summer, the summer before my senior year, my mom offered to have me house sit for her friends in Boston for a week or so. I almost declined, but at the last second I changed my mind. While I was there I decided to do some college tours because, well, it's Boston, and now in a couple months I'll be moving in at my dream school, which I wouldn't have even known existed if I hadn't gone on this trip. I bought an extra fine nib fountain pen, my first fountain pen, on a whim while in college and it was amazing. I started caring about my writing tools after that. I love the Zebra 0.5mm mechanical pencils. 2. The fountain pen I got was cheap but I got a refillable cartridge and inkwell, which are fun to use. I drunkenly bought a book. Thing is roughly the size of War and Peace, so doorstop may be a more appropriate term, on Russian commoners and peasants before World War I. I've read very little of it as it's pretty dense and academic. I keep it around on a coffee table because someone will inevitably ask why I own such a book. It's a fun way to segue into other drunk purchases and places I used to drink. A vibrator. I was drunk, 18 years old, legal drinking age is 16, browsing online and thought that it couldn't hurt. I found out how to get myself to orgasm. Hadn't had one before then. I'm very happy with that discovery. That story has a happy ending. I saw a Snicker and thought, dang, I want a Snicker, so I bought that Snicker. That was a dang fine Snicker. Dude, you're living the life. I see a Snickers, and I think I want a Snickers, but then I realize I'm fat and don't need to any more junk food. So I buy the Snickers and eat it while crying. An inverter with a huge battery for my car. I can plug something into it and get power without my car running and thus not killing my battery. I travel and used to idle a lot waiting for whatever going on, but now I can run a laptop, charge my phone, run a mini AC, whatever I want, without wasting gas. I bought a 2TB hard drive. It was $99 plus tax and it was frigging sweet, not deleting anything and having all your files easily accessible whenever you need it. Too bad it broke. I cannot go without one for too much longer. I bought a mini computer, the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, for around 35 New Zealand dollars last year. Now I have a room full of electronics components, wires, soldering iron, an empty bank account, no time free, and a new hobby. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.